This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
The lineup said, "You're not in prison." She was like, "What?"
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to That One Piece Talk, episode 88. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Lionel.
And this is That One Piece Talk, where we talk One Piece. Woo! Everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching another episode of us. We are going to be discussing One Piece Chapter 1075. It was an absolute banger of a chapter to many people, but not me. So there's going to be a lot of theorizing during this episode, I'm pretty sure. There wasn't much action, but there was a significant amount of detail and amount of information that we're probably just going to keep going off the dome with. I don't know how else to put this chapter, but for me, it was okay. So, you know me, I always have to be the downer of everybody, right? So, I got it out early. But other than that, just want to say what's up, guys. How's everything? Lawrence?
All right, not too bad. I'm doing all right, just a little tired, and we're trying to work out a little more, get back in shape.
Yeah. We were talking about Lawrence doing handstands.
Yeah?
Yeah, you learn how to twerk, man.
Okay. I don't know where handstands and twerking started becoming started coinciding.
Listen, man.
But I've been working on my calisthenics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, calisthenics.
Calisthenics, man.
Working his lower back.
Push-ups, pull-ups, dips, handstands. I don't know where you're at.
Oh, dips, huh?
Dips. Pull-ups, muscle-ups.
What about you, Lionel? Welcome back.
Okay, what y'all?
How's everything, man?
I'm all right. All right. I was here last episode.
I know.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. You're never here like twice in a row.
That's not true at all.
So I guess
Not
welcome
true.
back, bro.
I'm glad to be here. Thanks. All right.
Sebi?
Don't call me that. I'm good. I'm a little tired, man. I went to Afro Code in New York yesterday. That was pretty dope. A lot of dancing for just hours. But like Afro beats always hit, bro.
Did you powder up your thighs so they weren't rubbing together?
You gotta avoid the chafing, man.
I was not expecting that one, bro. I just wasn't. But it's good to be back.
Yeah, you were off last episode, bro.
Yeah, man. Where was I? I think Knicks tickets, right? That was the Knicks?
Yeah, you went to the Knicks game. Yeah.
Knicks won, so it's all up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Shout out to them. All right, everybody, what's up? Seb, since we're on you, let's say what's up to everybody in the chat.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people in the chat already, man. KJ, Toby, Straw Hat Nate, Peter Butter and Waivers, James Hudson, Jose Zamudio, Jordan Rothke, Brandon Wigfall, Illusion, Sebastian Hurley in the chat. I don't know what that's about. Blazer, Joy Boy Mark, right. United States of Blurred, Chris, Quan Webster, Quavo, so many of y'all in the chat. Oz, what's up, Oz? Reminiscence with Quinlan, Chubby Pandas, so many people in here, man. Cosmos, love seeing all these people in the chat. Please like the stream if you guys haven't already. God D, Usopp, Jamal D, Muppets, so many, Malcolm Wilson, so many, man. I love seeing it.
Yes. Oh, and then we got some super chats, right?
Yeah, we did get some early super chats, which is awesome. We got $20 from my guy Oz D Phenom. It says, "We in this bit." Appreciate
Yo,
you,
Oz, thank you so much, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
And another consistent one, our guy James Hudson with the $10 super chat. It says, "The CGI looking good today." Hashtag Lionel isn't real. Hashtag Larry has bad genetics.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yo, Pig also said, "Pour out one for Strahd while he's taking care of his 18 kids."
Oh yeah, that was the joke that he had 18 kids, right?
Dang.
I forgot we did that.
Yeah.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah, that's all the soups for now.
All right, thank you everybody. Also, welcome. So, considering this is going to be heavily filled with a lot of theorizing, we're gonna start immediately, and we're almost at 30K on TikTok. I went back and started posting videos.
Nice.
A lot of people were like saying that Sebastian's 𝙏𝙀𝙀 cosplay was the best 𝙏𝙀𝙀 they've ever seen. By the way,
I think that's just low numbers in general. I don't think we get.
they
a
were
lot
like,
of
"Yo, a black man dressing up as 𝙏𝙀𝙀 during Black History Month. This is amazing, yo."
Hey, man.
Yo,
Representing.
I hit that 𝐷𝐸𝐴 hard though.
Yo, you did, bro.
It was
Yo,
clean.
I had to look it up, and I was like, yo, did he really say an actual move? And then I noticed, I was like, yo, he really did though. All right, so let's get into it. This chapter, ladies and gentlemen, is titled Labophase Death Game. Within the cover story, we see Vegapunk in his prime years smiling. He's standing in front of the Gorosei, who are silhouetted. At the bottom of the page, the quote says, "The genius scientist gets an audience with the 5 elders." What did you guys think about this cover story? And we'll start with Lawrence.
It's a very simple cover story, but I can't get over the faces that Vegapunk be making. I know I called it out last time, where I was like, his face looks weird to me. He's kind of like a creep. And again, his face looks weird to me, kind of like a creep, but he looks evil. He doesn't look like I'm doing good, just the face wise. Doesn't seem like someone who has good intentions. He seems more like there's something underlining under his intentions. Like he looks kind of creep or an evil scientist or an evil genius to me, with the way he does that. Look at his eyes and the face he's making, you know. And it looks like he was kind of, to me, it looks like his face looks like he's plotting something all along. Like it worked out. I finally got the Gorosei's attention. Now I'm here. So I don't have much about here, but and they're silhouetted. But to me, it's just like all Vegapunk's faces. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I'm getting a lot of negative from Vegapunk through the faces he's making in these cover stories. The past 2 ones we saw when he went on live camera, and this one. Yep.
All right. Thank you guys for the super chat. Give us a second to read it out after this. Lionel?
I don't have that much on the cover story. We just see Vegapunk with the meeting the Gorosei. I'm just maybe thinking of the story we got from them in the beginning that the Gorosei or the world government stopped Mads and broke them up. But going to cover story, it kind of seems like that fully didn't really happen. Because in the I don't know because they don't elaborate on the years of what's happening. But the last cover story you see them all together still. Like the last cover story, you still, except the only one who was there that seemed like who broke a part of it more was Vegapunk. Like all of them, they kept that interacting with each other. While Vegapunk slowly like he drifted away from them, and now we see him with the Gorosei. Granted, we don't know the whole entire story, but I find that kind of interesting. And but yeah, and also it looks like the Gorosei kind of look still old, because I don't know, we don't know how old the Gorosei are, and we know that Vegapunk is 65. I don't know how old he is, but he has black hair. But the Gorosei looks like they still have white hair. This is a silhouette and it's back, but I'm trying to wonder, how old are the Gorosei actually? Because
They look the exact same.
Exactly, and it's been how many years? So I was thinking I find that kind of interesting.
Yeah. Seb?
Yeah, I didn't have much to add. I thought it was dope to see Vegapunk with them in general, because we've gotten a reference already that they've met once, so this is that time. At least this with Saturn specifically. So this, I would assume, is the time that he was talking about a couple chapters ago to Kizaru. I didn't find anything too bizarre with Vegapunk. I thought it was weird that he was standing in front of them in this fashion. Like are they posing for a picture? Like, is that what's happening?
Yeah, right.
Like, in what world are they meeting and then they're just behind him like that, looking at him from it just looked weird to me. Yeah. So it's a picture, but it's not. I guess I don't know. But he was mad hyped, so maybe it's him getting validated for his scientific efforts, and he was excited about that. But at the same time, this is after the O'Hara incident, right?
No, I think it's before. Because I think
I don't know if he looks older or younger. I'm trying to remember, but clearly I think he's already has a relationship with Dragon. Right?
Yeah.
So it's
I think it's before because Dragon was already upset with him already working with the world government.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to get a timestamp, I guess, or I'd have to see what Vegapunk looked like in that.
Yeah, I think you talk about sneaking away. He snuck away to come here.
Yeah, but he was already working with the government. You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm just trying to say, is this before or after O'Hara? Because like clearly he had an issue with that. Yeah. He had friends there and that happened, but like they gave the order to do that, and you're meeting them and you're hyped. That's weird to me. You know what I'm saying? So like maybe I'm getting my timeline mixed up here.
Well, only because I feel like this happened right after the Mads. Like after the Mads split up or the Mads were discontinued, he got his showing with the Gorosei. Because with their like after that video they had, shortly after he met with the Gorosei, and then really started working hand in hand with the world government.
Based off what Larry's showing, it looks like the O'Hara incident is after this.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that would make more sense. Because I was like, yo, like, you got peoples that, like, you mess with for real, and they just wipe them all out that way, and, like, I don't see him just pulling up that way. So I was kind of like, what? But, I don't know, I didn't have much to say. Vegapunk just always looks funny to me. And the Gorosei, that silhouette, it just looks dope to me. Like, I liked it.
Yeah. So, I will say this. I believe this is earlier than when we saw what happened with the destruction of Robin's homeland. I don't know how I just forgot the name, and you guys so basically the reason why I would say that is because Vegapunk's head is definitely smaller in comparison to when we saw him with Dragon, which was chapter 1066. So this is definitely before. One of the things I did notice is that he also has like sideburns that wasn't there before. So he kind of has like that Tony Stark thing going on. But also the Gorosei, right? Like this is the first time we've ever seen them all standing together, and they do not look older. And the youngest Gorosei member that we were aware of with the blonde hair, he's there too. So if we were to assume that this was a younger Vegapunk, and right now, what age is he? You said, Lionel?
65.
He's 65 right now, and then when he met Dragon, I believe they said...
On O'Hara?
Yeah.
He was like 36? No.
Hold on.
Like in his 40s.
Hold on. I'm gonna search for it right now. He was 43.
Yeah, that's right.
And he was 65, right? He's 65 now, so that's basically 22 years ago. That guy still looks the same age in his silhouette for the Gorosei member.
Yeah.
I think there's a little bit more credence now credence, my bad, to suggest that maybe the perennial youth surgery that Doflamingo was talking about, that Law can do, could be a possibility that they've all, obtained this. Because if this is before Vegapunk 22 years ago, then it might be that it's probably like 30 years ago or even 33. And we know that within 2 years difference, people could go from like normal hair to like straight up gray hair. Yeah. And that was with Sengoku. And I think, maybe it is possible that this has been done to them, or they each have a devil fruit that doesn't make them specifically strong, but gives them certain abilities that cause them not to age as fast. So I don't really know what to offer the conversation except something that we just don't have proof of. But I think with the timing, this is definitely a younger Vegapunk, and we know that 22 years ago, he has a bigger head, and he looks older when he met Dragon. So there's definitely some time gap there, right? There definitely is. Because even when we look at Kaido, right, on Wano, 20 years in separation, he looks completely different.
Yeah, he's like a biker boy.
Yeah, he looks completely different, but these guys look the same. So there's something there. I will get into the fact later in the chapter as to why I think Vegapunk looks evil the way you said and why he's smiling, but I'm going to leave it for later. So, yeah, we'll move forward. Before we do that, though, you want to hit the super chats?
Yeah, we got a couple super chats. We got another $2 from our guy James Hudson. It says, Larry to dress as Marco. # Marco Mafia. You ready for that? No.
Nah, honestly, Lawrence should dress as Marco. That should be Lawrence's cosplay.
Lawrence might even not do it, bro.
I know. He said he doesn't want to do it. But,
I don't know this, but Lawrence hates on Marco more than Larry does.
I don't hate on Marco. I don't hate on Marco.
You do, though.
You just don't. Y'all be making Marco out to be this dude,
I
and
know
he's
you
not.
Yo, they really do though.
Yo, they
I
do.
don't.
It's probably the only thing me and Lawrence ever agree with 100% of the time. It's like,
Listen, man. Y'all be hating, yo. It is what it is. But thank you so much, Pig. We got another $10 from Luffy needs to try some booty meat. It says, Sogi King Larry had good takes last week. How can Brooke not make any panty jokes when that's all we see? I need one panties joke or I'm dropping one. JK, hashtag
Listen,
Buggy Gang.
listen, man, you drop One Piece when you need to. Alright? You drop it when you need to.
Oh man, we did get another 1 month membership to Nakama status from our guy, Mr. Bushido56. Thank you so much, Bushido.
Thank you, man.
It says, carrot on the volume cover, I'm gaining power. Yes, talk your stuff, Bushido. Yo, we ain't never jumped off the carrot train, yo. Me and you, we like this, bro. We like this, all right?
Carrot should join, bro.
Carrot all day, every day.
I'm trying to see some furry meat, dog.
Why you gotta take it there? Oh, man.
Anything else?
No, that's it for now.
All right. Let's get into the first question. I have 3 questions this chapter, by the way. So, it's one of 3. All right. So, the chapter starts off with Shaka yelling for Pythagoras to answer him after that explosion last chapter. Shaka tells Cam Snail 12 to give him a pan, and all of a sudden we see a silhouetted figure take out the cam. Shaka is flustered. Luffy chimes in to ask Shaka why he can't hear anyone anymore. We head to the 3rd floor of Building A, and we see Nami, Edison, and Brooke looking for the real Vegapunk, the Stella. Nami spots some jewels and steals them immediately. Edison says they are synthetic jewels, so they're not real. On the 2nd floor, we see Robin, Atlas, and Chopper. Atlas explains to Chopper that her face was replaced, and she could do the same with her body. Robin then sees organs in vats, and Atlas explains that they're called organoids, which are lab-grown organs. It's the future of medicine. We go back to Shaka and Luffy, and now they can't hear anyone speaking. Then Shaka notices the cam snails are being taken out one by one and announces there's someone in the lab with them. What did you guys think of this? And we'll start with Lionel.
I thought it was pretty funny when Robin made the joke about thought it was Vegapunk. Going back to Robin's weird quirk about people dying a terrible death or being tortured or whatever. But again, it's hard to gauge where this is going with because it's organs and we don't know what the purpose of them. Like, because the fact that are they really making these organs from scratch? Like how Vegapunk made his own blood. And I'm thinking, are these the organs also how he made the seraphims? Like, are they connected in some way, or they're completely different? Because they said it's for modern medicine. So now he's trying to find a cure for things, and that goes into maybe even Chopper might studying on these things to make him a better doctor. But I thought it was like, again, it's just crazy how Vegapunk is creating organisms from we don't even know how or where he's getting it. I don't even know if they're like used organs like from dead people he took and he just copied it, like because I don't think he can't made it from scratch unless he found a way, but I think maybe he had organs of these people and he somehow was able to replicate it and make clones of it, possibly. I don't know, like it's too wild and crazy to think that Vegapunk's science is that advanced that he's able to do these things on a continual basis. But see what else. And this, I want to go with Sebastian. I'll say that for later. But yeah, that's all I have.
Okay. Seb?
Yeah. I mean, so one, I just want to say shout out to us as a community because we willed the murder mystery genre into One Piece as a community, and I love that. We started it on the Discord when we was like, Vegapunk who died. I think we had Hidden here, and he was like, Vegapunk's gonna die, and I started the who done it on the Discord. And now we here where there's like an actual murder mystery going on, and I like it a lot. So like, shout out. This is just like Devil Fruits. If you will it, if you dream it hard enough, it could happen. We getting it, and I love that. Thank you, Marv. Let's try to be inspirational. But anyway, I thought what Atlas said was kind of wild. With the whole she could change her body shape and stuff. I was like what? Like she could just be whatever she wants. I thought it was weird that Nami left the gold or the jewels. But I don't know, whatever. But I just like the development so far. Like there's somebody in the lab, like somebody's here doing something, and they can't. I will say this: there's a lot of and I think SGG pointed out in the chat too. There's a lot of high-level observation hockey users here.
Yo, I've said this.
Yo, I don't know if I was here the
Yeah.
last episode where you said it, but it's yo, bro.
I've said it almost every episode.
If you really need to diagnose the situation,
Yeah.
Somebody here. I know. I mean, you haven't got to Sanji yet, but he's distracted, whatever. But yo, Luffy, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just scan, bro. But I don't know. I like the developments we're getting so far. I like it. I do. But yeah, I don't have much to say. I don't. I will say, Chaka's kind of.
I was gonna bring that up.
He's still suspect to me.
No, that's fine.
But he kind of clear. He kind of, you know what I mean? You ever play Among Us? And you start clearing dudes you was suspecting early. Shaka might be clear. He might be clear. He might be clear. But that's all I got for now.
All right, Law.
Now, yeah, you guys touched up on a lot of things that I was gonna say. One thing I want to talk about is that figure, right? That Shaka saw. I'm not gonna lie. When I first saw, I thought
I forgot to bring it up.
Karibo. That's who I first thought because it looked mushy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a complete person. And I was thinking the only person here that I know that can do that is Karibo.
Yeah.
Right? And I go, why he's taking out the cameras? Well, he is a thief and he's trying to take stuff. He's not trying to get caught. Right? But going into observation hockey, Luffy easily sensed him. Right? So I was like, it can't be Karibo because I always think of why Luffy was able to sense Karibo back on Fishman Island. That's why I'm referring to it. Ray Leaf said something. The more someone has malice or a killing intent, or it's they're letting out their intentions, you're easier to read them or sense them, what they're doing, or like Luffy said, a wild beast, because Karibo was that malice and taking in 𝙭, right? So now, if it's not Karibo, then pretty much I was like, because it made sense because he's here. Then who else would it be, right? I'm not gonna touch up on that later, but who it is. But that's who I first thought. To me, it still could be Karibo. And maybe he's found a way to mask it because, right now, you're attacking the transmusion, the snails, not really a person. So maybe you're not really letting out your malice of attacking a person, your will there, right? And then and that's where it was mostly clearing Shaka for it because I didn't have Shaka on the top suspect. To me, it was it could kind of show that was him, but I was thinking honestly the way he was. Logically and loyal to Vegapunk, I didn't fully see it. I can see why people would say it, but I was I kind of was trying to rule him out for a while now. Hopefully I'm right, I'm not sure, but I've been trying to rule Shaka out of why he's the main suspect. And the running gag with Nami and Money, and I was thinking about her, she could always identify what's real or not, and these are industrial. Do they still count as real? Do they still make top dollar? Because it's industrial, they're not real diamonds as you would use for jewelry. They're industrial diamonds, but Nami's all about the glamour and that aspect where she walked up. But I just I forgot this one's name. He goes, the first things out of your mouth should be, oh, they're so pretty, not that they're mine. Pretty much. That had me laughing. Because you guys got a few bugs in your neurons because what's up with you people, right? And then what Alice said, it was interesting because this is what Vegapunk anyway designed her to be able to do. So I wonder what function, because again, we saw her function was kind of violence for her. So I guess she's a war machine. So changing parts like that kind of fits where she could replace for, I guess, in battle, to fight, to protect, or war. So that's something I like to that. Maybe
That's a good point.
Yeah,
to change that. So she's basically Iron Man, I guess.
My question was, can they all do that?
Yeah.
Is it just her, or can they all do that whenever they feel like?
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
So that's very interesting what Vegapunk made her, and she's huge in that way. So changing parts for machinery or for war, it kind of fits her role in that aspect. She could probably even expand more on that we haven't seen what her able to do in that aspect. And I think that's it I have for now. What you got, Larry?
So when when I was looking at this and I was going over it, I think the hidden figure more or less stands out in this chapter more than anything. It was kind of crazy trying to say like who it would be. I think I have an idea of who it is, but I'll just keep my thoughts to this part of the chapter where I'm going to say when I first saw this, it looked like Saturn to me. It would bring up questions as to how he got there. How does he know about the snails? Also, this menacing figure that we're seeing right now, why are they taking out the cam snails and stuff like that? It does remind me of how the Gorosei like to, suppress information. And it looks like this is what's happening, where they're keeping everybody in the dark, but also in the bubble. So whatever happens here is going to stay here. And whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure that this is all taken care of. And we'll probably see more of that later in the chapter, right? So I won't get too much into it. I will say that, again, Luffy not being able to use his observation haki to say how many people are like on the island right now does bring up the question of like what's going on with observation haki. It's kind of the same thing I said in Wano when it came to Conqueror's haki. Why wasn't anybody using it to knock people out? But it was only used for like attacks, and then people would sometimes be knocked out on the floor. Like, I get it. You can't just have Luffy just annihilate half of a force. Like, you need some tensions. But, like,
I mean, you can.
Conqueror's haki is there to be accessed and do it. And we've never seen somebody get drained from doing such things as that, especially since that's, like, the base form of Conqueror's haki from what we're seeing. But the same thing's happening now, where, like, observation haki is not playing an effect. So I'm like, this is kind of weird. But not to complain on that, just to bypass it. I love Nami getting more time and more panel. I think we don't get enough of the Straw Hats being the Straw Hats, like I've always said. Edison being Edison, he's probably like my favorite satellite. So I love seeing him interact with the Straw Hats too. I will say this. I think one of the most interesting aspects of the chapter doesn't necessarily include like what's happening, but what's being told. So like with Atlas, her saying that she could just change her looks and body however she wants to, it brought up the same question as Sebastian said. Can all the satellites do this? And if so, that means that it could still be anybody, right? But it also brought this question. Why wouldn't all the other satellites know that it's that person if they're uploading data, right?
Well,
to the cloud.
They have to upload it, right?
They have to, but it's a choice. They choose and they do it once a day.
Right.
That's the fact. They upload once a day, and then everybody gets the info. So it seems like the satellites have a lot of freedom where they can choose to do something or not. But then they could also choose bodies if they so chose to. That's interesting. That makes it seem like it could be Edison. It could be Lilith still. It could be Atlas. We don't know. So Oda's played it very close to the chest where like he's covered his tracks and said, well, you might think it's this person, and I'll lead you to believe it. But it could probably still be this person because they can just be a totally, completely different person. Now it brings up the fact is, do they change personalities into other satellites if there are other satellites made? And it made me think of, you remember watching the Eternals from Marvel?
Yeah.
You seen the Eternals?
Yeah.
You seen?
Yeah.
All right, so they have like copies of themselves. I'm wondering if Vegapunk has like a copy of Atlas that he could just change into, but it's a different form. Like
Vegapunk could probably just tap into any one of them whenever he feels like, kind of thing.
and just take over them.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that. Yeah. But that was really interesting. I'm so sorry I'm going off a little bit, but it was a lot to think about. I pointed this out on my chapter review that I really love the fact that like Vegapunk is able to create organs, because for anybody that's ever going to read One Piece and read this chapter, sometimes they might not be in a position to like receive an organ because they need it in order to live in like real life. And just seeing something like this in a chapter gives them kind of like hope that maybe there is an organ for me to have, like just the aspect of hope in real life makes me like this chapter a lot. And it does bring up the question, if he's able to create these organs, where is he getting the DNA from? Like, what?
Yeah.
like, are you serious? Like, is that completely possible?
The organ know me, bro.
Yo, like, so you're saying if I lose a heart, you could just replace my heart by taking my DNA? How how long will that take to grow? Well, we know that judge only takes 5 years to grow an actual person. I'm wondering, like, yo, can we get Kid's arm back? Like, I know it's not an organ, but like, if we're able to do limbs too, yo, give Kid his arm back, bro.
I'm shocked you're concerned about Kid and his arm.
Yo, hold on. But no. I'm just using that as an example.
Yeah.
But like, yo, we have Dogtooth, we have Nekomamushi. Yo, give them their arms back too. I'm saying like it's different arms and organs, but it's a possibility at this point, right?
I like people without.
But you just hit something that I didn't really feel on, and why this is a big mistake for the Marines to lose Vegapunk. I thought about Kiji. So, like, all right, he wanted to continue in the Marines. He lost a leg. With Vegapunk is growing, I could give you your leg back. So you could have, thank you, unlimited like Marine soldiers or world government officials who go to war, who lost something, and just come back to war the next like month or whatever. Really renegotiated. Organ
right.
or leg back.
But yo, if Vegapunk is really doing the stuff that like he's doing out here, yo, you gotta take him out. He's not with you. You know what I'm saying? He's actively allied with your ops, like with the people trying to take over.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know? But
so we seen the super chats. Let us finish and then we'll read them off. But it just brought up the fact that like, yeah, man, like Vegapunk is the reason why they're taking out Vegapunk is because we assume that all the information and data he's currently collected, the government has now. Like they have scientists who could reproduce his work. Mm-hmm. It'll take more people, but overall, his products are finished. Like he finishes most of his experiments and most of his accomplishments are just done. So they have all the information to just keep proceeding with those things, right? So the organs, for example, I assume that the government must know, so they're going to proceed with that information and just build more organs. That's cool to me. But it's like the new inventions that he comes up with, right, that aren't completed. That's what they don't have, but they're willing to get rid of him anyway because, well, this is enough. You give enough, more than enough for hundreds of years. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking about Chopper, and like I hope Chopper gets a little bit more action from this arc in regards to like pushing his medical knowledge even further. I don't want it to be where like he doesn't gain anything from this arc the same way he didn't really gain anything from Wano, because Chopper is very interesting. Even though he's like the plushie of the series, it's like the dude is probably one of the most phenomenal Straw Hats on the crew. He's up there with Frankie. If we really put it down, you know, it's like, yeah, like Chopper's an important figure on the crew. Like he should be able to somehow reproduce organs because sometimes people have heart attacks. They need to do bypasses, you know, all these other things, but sometimes it's not there. So how does he cure that disease for that person? Yo, replicating organs would probably help. So I'm like excited, bro. Yeah. But other than that, I don't have much else. Sorry for ranting so much.
No, it was a lot of good information.
Yeah. So I'm done. All right.
All right. We did get a bunch of super chats while we were talking. But yeah, we got a $2 super chat from our guy, Mr. Bushido56. It says, the trader is Punk Records itself. Half 3,000.
Okay.
I kind of like that.
Wait,
That's interesting because it brings up Skynet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Skynet was
I can see that.
So he thinks that the cloud that Vegapunk built, like his brain, is actually working against them all now. Like that's the culprit. Because in Terminator, Skynet was the real issue that issued out the drones to like kill people. I shouldn't say kill. Okay. Unalive people.
Unalive does not sound better. Yeah. But whatever.
That's a good.
But no, I like that theory.
Yeah, that's a good one too. I haven't heard anybody say that.
That reminds me of iRobot.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, iRobot too. Yeah.
Yeah, but thank you so much, Bushido. We got a $100 super chat from Seer Aiken.
That's kind of crazy.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you, bro.
Just caught up on the DDT from the Wiper fight. I have a question. Usopp still has the reject dial, right? So what if when he is fighting, he builds up attacks on the dial, and when he unleashes it, it'll be too much and he dies but accomplishes his dream of being a brave warrior? Does he still have the dial? Does he still have the reject? He hasn't used it, right?
He hasn't used it, but I assume he still has it.
Like he used it on Water 7.
Yeah.
But has he like?
I think he inculcated a lot into Nami's weapon, and I think he put it into like his own weapons. I think he utilized it somehow.
Well,
And the other question was it? Did he even have the reject out, or was it just the impact out? I don't remember if he got the reject or not.
well, let's just assume that his question is correct.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know.
How would you feel about
mean-
Usopp dying in that fashion?
So I think we've always agreed that Usopp will pass out of all the Straw Hats
He's
more
just the
than
most
anybody else.
likely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think. Yeah.
So it's like if he was to pass in that way, would that satisfy us?
I have to see how it's written, bro.
Yeah.
So how does he use it again? You said he uses it to what?
He would do the same thing Wiper did, where he would take in attacks and then he
Yeah.
would issue it back, but it would be like 10 times.
Yeah. Like, what if you like took the King's punch or something?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Or Luffy's punch. You know what I'm saying? Or something crazy. Like, say Bajrangan gun, and he was just like, boom. I saw a meme recently. This is completely on topic, but it was One Punch Man. And Usopp One Punch Man's punch. And it was got to throw it back at him. Would Saitama live? I don't know. So these are questions for another day, I guess.
I'm going to tell you right now, yes.
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume he would live.
Yeah, he would.
I'm gonna assume Usopp would die
Yo,
instantly
oh my God.
just from trying
Bro,
to do
I
that.
wish we had a One Punch Man episode that we could do, bro.
You don't
It's so
understand how
good.
strong
Yeah.
this
We
dude
can
is,
technically do on break weeks. I mean, whatever.
It's so good.
Whatever.
All right, anyway.
But that's a really great question. Honestly, it's got me thinking.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't know if I would be satisfied, but I agree with Sebastian. We would have to see it's written.
Yeah.
Because if anybody's gonna pass on the Straw Hats, it has to be written phenomenally.
Yeah.
And I think that Usopp gives you that leverage of no matter what you do, it'll be written phenomenally because he's a character that has shown many times, especially during like Alabasta. He'd get hit in the face and then he'd get back up, you know, and then
Yeah.
he'd be like, "Yo, this is for Luffy." And
Yeah.
there's a lot of things about Usopp that is so honorable.
Yeah.
You have honestly, even though Usopp, he's not someone that like he's one of my favorite characters. He's not, in all honesty, but to have him die, you would have to make it mad dramatic and crazy as heck, like emotional, like the tug, like my heart. For example, like think back when Cool Bar died. When
During the Dark Tournament.
Bro,
Yeah.
spoil it. No.
But cool, for Yusuke Urameshi, like something that's gonna like inspire Luffy to do better or something like that. Like
I'll
something
say
that
this,
emotional.
and we can move on after this. If Usopp dies and then Chopper uses some of these organoids to bring him back, I'm gonna be tight. If you're gonna go far enough to kill Usopp, keep him dead. Don't bring Usopp. Listen, I'm gonna be tight, bro.
But would that feed into Chopper's thing with Larry's talking about?
Nah.
Him curing everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a buck.
Curing everything, bro.
As soon as Doflamingo got hit with that Gamma Knife, he was finna hit up Vegapunk, bro. He was hit up Vegapunk like, yo, I'm not good,
And
bro.
then you got any spare organs? I know you in that kitchen.
Like,
cooking
my
it.
lungs is hanging out my ass. Thank you so much for the 100, though. That is super huge. Really, thank you a lot, Seer.
Seriously.
Appreciate you.
We got another $5 from Anime Allen. It says, longtime fan, but a quiet one. Always busy. I'ma financially support y'all more as time and my bread go up. All I ask is for no Zoro slander. I think one, we really appreciate
Yeah, even though you don't have to,
Yeah.
Alan. And of course we know you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And just, I think you're good on this podcast as far as Zoro slander.
Yeah,
Like,
Zoro
we're-
slander doesn't really come out ever.
We sometimes joke about the racism stuff, but like
Yeah, the racism stuff is always
you
going to be
know,
there.
I'm a huge Sanji stan, and I go out of my way to make sure it's known that Zoro's stronger than him. So like,
Yeah.
I don't think you get Zoro
we
slander
know,
on this
yeah.
podcast, man. Zoro knows.
Well, not from us.
Yeah, Pete will definitely let us know. He's a huge Zoro fan.
we got a couple Zoro stans in our community. But thank you so much.
Yes,
Alan.
thank you.
We got another $50 super chat from our guy Joey Boy Mark.
Thank you.
It says,
Arigato.
hey guys, how we doing? Grand Line put out a theory that Shaka is the double agent, but the reason is to get Stella off Egghead by sacrificing the satellites to distract the world government, also while focusing on the Straw Hats. What are your thoughts?
Interesting.
Wait, so do you think that?
Shaka's just trying to get rid of everybody so he could take control.
No, but double agent as in he was not created by Vegapunk?
No, he's created by Vegapunk. It's just that he has different agendas from Vegapunk.
No, in this,
He'd be
based on what
aligned
he
with the
said-
Marines.
No, based on what he said, he's saying basically he's sabotaging everyone else so that Stella can escape.
Yeah.
So it's like
And
I'm killing all the satellites in fate, like so Vegapunk can live on.
Yeah.
Because technically these dudes can probably be brought back on some level. Like Vegapunk could probably recreate these satellites.
It could be. I mean, that's interesting.
Yeah,
it definitely sounds like it could be too.
I don't know if I agree, but I like it.
Because honestly, I personally think that Shaka has more of a connection to Vegapunk than all of them. Like
maybe.
I kind of thought he was probably like legit. We didn't see his face, but more of like a clone or like a son of his. Like not like a biological son, as in like by having relations, but actually like pretty much now we got to the organs thing. I really think that Vegapunk probably took part of him and created a clone of himself and shot. Probably thought that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That would be a good one too. I don't know.
You got some good questions today, man.
Yeah, these are good questions.
Yeah, that is an interesting one. I can see that more than him being just evil or for selfish reasons, but thinking like kind of I'm gonna sacrifice all of us and while keeping the intention on the Straw Hats to save the one that's I guess most important to them.
Yeah.
The Stella, Vegapunk.
So that's the thing, like, and I'll have to bring it up later, where there was a slight change in translation and towards the end of the chapter with what Zoro said about what the Seraphim were doing. So we'll go into that later.
Yeah.
But that changed my whole I had a completely different perspective on what was happening in that moment, and that translation changed my perspective entirely.
Yeah.
So we'll get to that later, but
Yeah.
it's pertaining to some of this right here. So.
Yeah, I think we're gonna get really into it at the end.
Yeah.
But thank you, Joy Boy Mark, seriously, for the 50.
Yeah, thank you,
big,
thank you.
that's big, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, man. We got another $20 from James Hudson. It says, y'all think Frankie might pick up some of these interchangeable parts for his weapons or General Frankie?
Thank you for the 20, James.
Yeah, man.
I really hope so. I think that's with everybody's intentions of reading Egghead is that we all hope the Straw Hats take a little bit of something from here, because what's currently here is like, if you ever played like a RPG game and you find like this crazy sword and you're like, yo, on this island that you wouldn't have found if you didn't do the side quest.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, I'm here. I'm going to take this sword and bring up my attack damage by like plus 30.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like Frankie's able to do that right now. Chopper's able to do that. Robin is able to get some more knowledge from the punning, since O'Hara has all this information and Shaka has it. Everybody has something. And even Usopp. It's like Usopp is an inventor as well. So we're hoping that Usopp, brings his Kabuto up to another level where like he can compete with high level people. I think that we're all in agreement for that.
Yeah, dude, that bubble gun
Yeah.
that she brought up, I was like, Usopp? Like, he was on
Yeah,
commenting on
and
it, so.
Usopp might add that into Nami's staff. Like, there's so much that.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Listen,
Honestly, they could even, because he said industrial gems, you could use that to empower the ship, bro. Like, they do the Cody burst? The amount of kick you'd probably get by adding those gems to it.
Yeah.
Like, pretty much even to the ship. I think, especially, frankly, they should be leaving here with something. You know what I'm saying?
I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving here with something.
I'm leaving
I
here
think
with
all the
something.
strides probably come up a little bit. I will say this, and this is something I got from Hidden, and I think he was on stream with Morge, actually. They were talking about, I think he even put a video out, Frankie getting the green blood and being able to use a devil fruit in some way, but not lose the ability to swim or whatever. I don't know if I love it or not.
The only way I would accept it is if Chopper and him go into the lab together and create that.
Yeah, that would be cool.
If Frankie just did it by himself, I wouldn't accept it. Yeah.
They had said on that stream it would be the swim fruit because of his relationship with Senior Pink and his I don't want to lose the ability to swim. It would like give him the whole thing. But I don't know. I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, Frankie got to come up some way. He got to upgrade some way after Egghead, man. This is the arc.
Yeah, he already did it one time. This is even more so with Vegapunk.
Upgraded Frankie could be like that. Also, Larry, you said you thought Frankie could be the Seraphim himself on your stream. I don't know, man. I feel like I heard you say that. I was
I didn't say that.
I don't know, man. You might be wilding with that one. I thought I heard you say that.
I say that.
All right, my fault though. All right.
No, it was during that chapter when Shaka said that Frankie was using light beams and that would be trouble for the Seraphims or something like that. And I was like,
no, I'm talking about your most recent stream.
No,
where
I
you were
didn't say
streaming.
that. I'm pretty sure I
the
didn't say
chapter
that.
review.
Yeah, I said Zoro could.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. But we got another $2 super chat from Terrence Matthews that says Rokushiki versus Fishman Karate, which is sweeter?
Rokushiki, in my opinion.
It's just more versatile, right? Like,
Yeah.
I think Fishman Karate's stronger. Like I think the stuff that Jinbei's doing is more powerful than like a regular, like some of the stuff that they're doing, Tekai and Rokugan. But like,
well, Rokugan kind of acts like Fishman karate to a degree.
it do,
Yeah.
but it's Jinbei.
Like Fishman,
like water bullet, bro.
I could swim underwater with.
But they could do the
Rokushiki.
same thing. Honestly, it's
They
really
can't do
similar.
a water bullet,
They
bro.
could do flying Shingun. It's
Yeah.
pretty much.
It's not the strongest of water. Dude, we saw Hoodie destroying through mountains, bro, and he's a bum. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know.
Well,
I'm gonna go Rokushiki just because you can fly.
Yo,
but
we
like,
gotta move on though.
I'm just saying. I think we got one.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple more. One
Yeah.
got retracted. We got $5 from Luffy. Need to try some booty meat. It says, you think Vegapunk will give Zoro a new eye? Or it'll show him where everybody is, so
I
he can
brought this
stop
up.
getting lost all the time.
Yo, I brought this up, but I was like, yo, eyes are like organs.
yeah.
It is.
Like, yo, he could just make Zoro a new eye.
That'd be.
I honestly don't think he would accept it.
Yeah.
It's Zoro.
I don't think he would.
I'm good.
I just can't see. I can't see that. If anybody's not getting an upgrade this arc, it's Zoro. You know what I'm saying? We got a $5 super chat from Ryan Nico, but it's been retracted.
Thank you so much for the 5 either way.
Hopefully it
But-
wasn't a spoiler or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it was, but thank you, Ryan.
Thank you so much.
And then we got another $5 from Seer Aiken. It says Usopp does have them because in Fishman Island he used them into his wolf attack. Was it a reject or an impact though? So that's what
I don't.
I don't remember.
Yeah, they're different.
Thank you so much, Seer. Appreciate it, man. Again.
Thank you.
Hashtag give Zoro Sharingan. Par in the chat. What's up, Par? He's trying to get the Larry for Mary.
Yeah.
Yo, Pig said you got the head for it.
All right. Anyway. So next we see Jinbei, Stussy, and Sanji in Building B on the 2nd floor. Sanji asks Stussy if he can be her dog, and Jinbei says the lab is massive. Stussy also says they shouldn't cause vibrations since they are on the weapons development floor. In Building C, on the 3rd floor, we see Frankie, York, Usopp, and Lilith. Lilith shows Usopp her bubble gun and states it shoots bubbles that can deflect anything. Usopp then notices someone on the ground near where the explosion happened. They see a headless Pythagoras. They all go wild with concern, and then Usopp spots a head walking towards them, and it's Pythagoras. He yells, "Don't shoot him." Then we see York kneeling in front of someone saying this person is supposed to be waiting out front, and then we see S-Snake turn York to stone. Lilith then yells at S-Snake saying, "Who told you you could do this?" Then S-Snake shoots a laser beam at the group, causing them to fall off the bridge. Then Pythagoras says S-Snake won't listen to orders. Then Frankie tries to get in touch with Shaka, but it doesn't work either. Lilith says they can't beat the Seraphims by themselves. What do you guys think is going on, Lawrence?
So, this one goes back into I'm not gonna lie. This is what I first thought, because we already got to the part where you show them she legit attacked them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That snake attacked them.
Yeah.
Right. So now, and then you saw Lilith yelling them to stop and how it's not listening. Right. I did think it was interesting in the beginning where, for example, like a few chapters ago, where he tried to attack the satellites, and I was like, and then when they tried to order them, they didn't listen right away. I thought there was something fishy there. There's something going on, but I was like, okay, but maybe just they're in mid attack, so it didn't happen right away. But now they're attacking, and now it goes into kind of what you said before, that it kind of looked like to you Saturn, right? Oda could have very well had him enter the island, but we haven't seen him land, because we all thought we were probably going to see when Kizaru and them get here. But what if Oda didn't? Like, no, they kind of snuck in, and then he saw them, and then he ordered them clean up, like, start taking them out. So that's what I thought when I saw this one here, because there'll be literally no reason for them to attack the satellites unless they had the only one higher than Vegapunk is the Gorosei. So he would have to be here. The only other thing I think of is that or just like how they paused, going back to the last chapter where they paused where they wait a bit, the Seraphim just kind of like rebelled. They're just like, you know what? We're tired of taking orders. Like, we have their own thing where they just like, we don't want to listen to the Gorosei, we don't listen to Vegapunk. We're doing our own thing now. They all teamed up together and just attacked everyone. Like, pretty much like we're gonna be the ones running ourselves. Those are the two things I thought. And I don't know if and it goes into, like, for example, the will thing. If they have each other's will, These are strong-willed people that Vegapunk kind of took their DNA from. Both Hancock, Kuma, Jinbei, and Mihawk, you know? So pretty much they could be where they start thing where, just like, for example, Moria's shadows. How it took the stronger your will was, the stronger, and he happened to get your shadow, the more time they kind of rebelled against you. Then eventually they would fall in line, but they would still give you some, hey, don't interfere in my fight with Luffy when he was Oars, right? But what if this kind of happened in reverse, where like in the beginning they were, but then their will started slowly getting stronger. It was just like, I'm not listening to this anymore. I'm my own person, right? So it could be very much be something like that, or Saturn's here, ordering them, telling them to like, yo, let's wrap the things up and cover everything. Because now, if you think about it, I can't say this point yet because where we are, but it made me think of another person who that figure is, and I guess I could say it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be the Jinbei one. We haven't seen him yet, you know. So it could be him. Like, all right, you're doing this one. You take out the cameras. So. Or like, you know, so it could be like that in an aspect, because there's I can't figure out why they would rebel. And the closest thing is the Gorosei that's surviving, or they're all just went AWOL, or like we're all just gonna follow our own thing. But the suspension thing, but also too like their eyes again, going back to the sea snake's eyes. Every time again they're into kill, we see the star thing. So to me, it's just confirming it more and more. The star means they're trying to kill you. So it could be from an order, or it could be like and inside them is telling them, kill this person or kill this. But the star in their eyes is confirming to me more and more that this is like we're assassinate, or I'm in kill mode. So pretty much, and I think it's interesting because she's smiling while that snake is smiling while they're doing it. It's interesting because they're showing what their personality wise, right? So them smiling and do it is like where usually when they just find out they're kind of serious. So that's what kind of meaning they could be rebelling here because she's smiling at it, like I'm breaking free, or something. And that's all I have for now.
All right, Seb.
Yeah, I like the developments of the Seraphims turning on the Vegapunks. I think that's great. A lot of tension there because again, just based off the groups themselves, like I think this is something Larry brought up on his on his stream, like the 𝙬, Sanji, Jinbei group. Like, that group go hard. But, like, the Frankie, York, like, I don't know how hard that group goes. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for them to be the ones dealing with the Seraphim right now, I thought it was like, okay, this is fun. This can be interesting. But we'll see with the lasers that Frankie can use and stuff. York getting taken out that easy is kind of wild. I want to see what's good with Lilith. Like, she's violent. She's the evil one or whatever. Like I expect some smoke from her. I do, and always want to see Usopp step up. I was annoyed as hell at Pythagoras. Like more Oda than Pythagoras. It's like, yo, bro, like 4 different times it was like, yo, just tell us what happened. And he was like, oh, this isn't that. But the way he explained it, it seems as though it was a Seraphim that attacked him. Yeah. Because he said, could we have made a mistake in the design stage? Like, referring to something that they've created. So, in my mind, it was a Seraphim that attacked him. And then he immediately noticed that, like, he told, hey, stay away from S-Snake because they're, like, you know what I mean? So, which one it was, I don't think it was S-Snake, per se. So, it was probably somebody else, because why is he not stone or whatever? But, I don't know. In regards to the... I thought... York getting turned to stone was funny as hell to me. Like she just like got kicked. I thought that was really good.
That's why she didn't break.
Yeah. A little farther back, 𝙬 mentioned something about big vibrations and like shockwaves that could limit what Jinbei is capable of doing in this scenario or whatever they're gonna face. Because I assume they're all gonna run into a Seraphim at some point or something. But yeah, other than that, it's just dope to see them like having to deal with this. Like, I just like the Seraphims and them fighting them, so I'm with that.
I was gonna say, note that they're on the same floor as Nami's group.
I do want to point out that Lilith straight up said we created them to be the ultimate form of humanity. Like, they're supposed to be this really strong thing. Like, I like that keeps getting reinforced. Like, if these things are not easy to deal with, they can make Blackbeard sweat. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It's gonna be hard.
Of course they would make Blackbeard
I'm
Spider.
just saying. I like that they hyping them up. I like that.
I want to see them go all out.
Lionel?
I did thought it was Saturn too for a bit. Then I, from what happens at the end, makes me question why. Because I don't want to jump into it, but because we don't know what happens at the end. I mean, Saturn wouldn't order that too, would he? Because you have them doing this now, kill them. Like, to me, that doesn't really make sense. So I'm thinking that's something. I don't think it's Saturn anymore because the fact that what happens at the end. But again, for the one on the camera, I actually just assumed it was Snake who took out the cameras, but I don't know, like, because I'm going by like where they were and the cameras got destroyed, but I don't remember if they were specific on what building or what floor they were doing that on the camera. Because I thought when the explosion happened, when Purvis got hit his head blown off, I thought that was the same floor and they just took out the camera. So I honestly just assumed that was Snake, but it could be somebody else. I didn't really think anything of it. And also I find it interesting that, because she said the bubble gun could reflect anything. I'm thinking, I'm not saying why didn't you use it then, but like you could have used it then to reflect the light instead of just like blowing up your footing and falling to the ground. And I also thought of and they could also stop their movements because the shoes that they're wearing. Because remember, they stopped the show hats. I don't know if Shaka has the only one that has control for that, for the footing, or if Lilith could do it. I don't know. But, like, I mean, there's things they could do to prevent them. But, again, we don't know the reason why, like, you know, the Seraphims are running a rebellion against them. But the thing is, like, they're just right now, but it's just finding interesting that it seems like they're trying to take out everybody, especially with the last chapter, like, you're attacking allies and you're attacking, you know, at the end. So what is your purpose? Like, why are you doing this? So I just find it kind of interesting what's going on. I didn't get like in order to like progress. Just say it, like, come on, like the expense, but you know, it could be like I always like going to a lawn saying like the will thing with because they're made of strong individuals, like strong-willed, Shichibukai. So I'm thinking, like, I wonder if that plays a factor in it. But it could be because they know, we don't know if any of them have hockey, but they are created of people who had hockey. And two of them, or possibly three of them, are Kingdom Splitting users.
I feel like I get the thought process, but, like, I don't know that Oda would write it that Vegapunk has a flaw in these ultimate creations that he made. Like, I don't know if he would go that route with how he, like, talks or how we're supposed to view Vegapunk, but that's me.
But I'm thinking it could go into, like, for example, I think when Zoro and Luffy fight them, I think we're gonna get more knowledge about their will because they're gonna be sensing them. But it could lie into the fact that with Zoro's comment saying you come off more human than Mihawk, saying that who has will, humans do, right? And the Seraphims are made to be like humans. They should manifest a will instead of just, you know, machine will. But I can see why they don't, because they are in a way man-made and they weren't, you know, naturally born. So that still lies in the fact that can they utilize hockey? Do they have a will to use and empower? But yeah.
No, but the thing is, this is crazy, but if you could pretty much do what Kuma is doing, then he could take wills from other people and put it in the Seraphims.
We don't know.
That's something like...
We don't know what makes will.
Yeah.
Except the person. It could also come from memories, but that's the one question I said from the get. Yeah. If he could transfer will, then he needs to get taken out immediately.
I'm trying to kill Vegapunk.
He's made organs. We're talking about putting them out together.
Awesome, man.
You gotta take them out,
the
bro.
organs are here.
Can't do that, bro.
Nah.
But I thought it was also funny that I'm surprised Usopp is like not dead from the ceiling. He landed head first and landed like hovered over and stopped.
There's somebody out there who's gonna use that as a durability feat.
Yo, he has a helmet on. Okay, that's why he was safe.
Usopp not dying from just falling, bro.
But he legit has like a Vegapunk invented helmet.
Yeah.
I mean, created.
He
helmet.
could have had no helmet on. Usopp would have been fine.
Yeah.
But I just look at no one said anything about Frankie's head and hair. Like it just looks so stupid to me. With it it looks like one of those toy things that you wind up.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, but
It's the same as what Pythagoras has on his head. Pythagoras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Stussy, Sanji, and Jinbei are together in the weapons development floor, and knowing that they can't cause vibrations. I think it'll put Sanji at a disadvantage and Jinbei at a disadvantage because both of their attacks seem to be vibrational. Not necessarily something used like a devil fruit that can like bypass vibrations in order to make like a stronger attack. Sanji uses speed in order to gain weight for power. Jinbei uses the inside of people, you know, overall. So his power, I think they're gonna verse like the S-Shark aspect of. So it's weird with the Usopp, Lilith, Frankie, and York crew because they're also with Pythagoras. That's the only group with three satellites. Every other group has just kind of just one, besides Sanji and Jinbei. It's interesting. I think we should pay attention to that group a little bit more so than, you know, not. Just because this might be a way to take out multiple people at like once. I agree with Sebastian. I think that Pythagoras was talking about a seraphim. My question is, what kind of seraphim? And it leads me to hope that there might be another seraphim we haven't seen that was a Shichibukai. So maybe S Flamingo, possibility. Or I think probably the most dangerous one of all, if Will doesn't play a factor into any of this, would probably be S Gecko, so Gecko Moria. I think having the shadow ability is probably one of the craziest abilities you could have as a seraphim. And if it's taken before like Gecko Moria went into like the phase of, you know, being lazy and, you know, unproductive. If we went into Prime Gecko, where he's like rival to Kaido, that's a very different Gecko Moria, dog. And I can see how he'd be able to take out multiple cameras at once, just from the shadows. So I'm thinking right now there might be another seraphim we haven't been introduced to yet. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah.
In the lab.
There's a couple of opinions too, regarding that. Like when Pythagoras said maybe we made a mistake in their design, that makes me think of the seraphim, right? But it also makes me think that, you know, there has to be other test subjects besides just the ones that we saw, right? Like there has to be prototypes. Maybe this is a prototype they necessarily couldn't kill and it escaped because the dome went down, or like the whatever kept him locked up no longer worked efficiently, or her efficiently. It could be multiple things. The only thing I do not want it to be is the Blackbeard Pirates somehow acting on their own. So Parvision brought this up. A couple other people brought this up, that it might be Katarina Devon, and it might be Lafette, who's happened to cause all this confusion and maybe taking out the snails, and she can actually transform into other people, and, you know, it's playing that mindset. I don't like it. You already know. I don't like Blackbeard being in everything and everywhere. There's nobody that does that in the entire show. Just giving him the ability to just like act however he wants, which is cool. Like that's what pirates do, but act in accordance to like knowledge that we just don't know how he got, or him just being able to infiltrate this Egghead Island without having any knowledge of how Egghead works. Like there's so much that like leaves to the imagination for Blackbeard that like it's no longer imagination. It's just like, yo, we're just still giving him more shit. We're just giving him more things.
So I agree with what you're saying. Like I wouldn't want it to be Blackbeard. What if he's like milking the information out of Kobe, and that's how he was able to get the info?
Even Kobe shouldn't know how Egghead works completely. Like
maybe not completely, but he's been there. He's met Vegapunk before.
Cool, bro.
I'm just saying. I agree with you though.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's just, it's just too much, man. I absolutely would hate it for Blackbeard's character and for the story of the show. So I would rather it be like a seraphim. I would rather it be inside the bubble and whoever's near the bubble.
But I don't see it'll be Blackbeard. He should still be in that situation.
They're not saying Blackbeard. They're saying Lafette and Katarina Devon.
Because he's been sending crewmates out to do stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I just think it would be terrible for the story. Other than that, I mean, Lilith should have used that gun.
Right? I was thinking the same thing.
She should have used that gun.
She not like that, I guess.
Yeah. But I don't have any more to say until we go to the next question. So for now, we'll read the super chats after the sponsor. Take us there, Marv. This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you been struggling lately? Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, difficulty with a relationship, or just struggling from low self-esteem. Listen, I've been there. We've been there. If so, then today's BetterHelp wants to help you. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. Talk to your therapist in a private, online environment at your own convenience. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire, simple as that, to help assess your specific needs. And then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Then you schedule a secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages and everything you share is completely confidential. I happened to sign up at one point regarding my confidence issues. Next thing you know, my confidence issues are not issues anymore. I'm doing pretty well in that area. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. Special offer goes out to all that One Piece Talk listeners. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/TOPT. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TOPT. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode.
Yo, it had me dying.
We was watching that.
I was like, oh, right.
That was so funny.
I was in these streets.
I was in these streets.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. All right, so
we got two super chats, both from Shondi Wandy, one for $3. It says, like the stream, #BuggyGame. Yes, please, like the stream, y'all.
yeah,
Thank
if you haven't liked it,
What are you doing?
And then we got another $3 from Shondi Wandy. It says, the most dangerous one, Seraphim Buggy.
I think they're all the original Shinji Bukai, not the new ones.
I don't know, we might get.
But if it would be hilarious. I will say, as stupid, it would be funny if we had one. But then if we're getting that one, we would have to think, oh, we're gonna get a Seraphim Law, a Seraphim Weevil, a Seraphim Blackbeard, a Seraphim, like all the new ones who just became that one. Seraphim Crocodile. He's part of the original, but like you know.
yeah.
We got another super chat real quick from Terrible TJ. $5. It says, what if S Flamingo and S Crocodile are both taking snails out for all the Seraphim, or are all the Seraphim are? I think I read that wrong. Stella ordered them to protect him. Satellites are a threat. And then googly eyes.
Yeah, I just actually mentioned about the flamingo stuff.
Yeah. I feel like it should be called S Joker, yo.
They go after animals.
That's Joker.
Crocodile is just a whack figure as a seraphim. I'm gonna keep it a bug.
You got the hook.
I don't know how I would feel about an amputated child for a hookup for an arm.
Just have this little thing, bro. I don't know.
It's gonna weird. I feel like young SS Crocodile is gonna look like a little bit like SS Mihawk.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're stick back
I'm
here.
saying SS, like they're a boat.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, you saw what Crocodile looks like when
Yeah,
he
we've
was a
seen
child.
young Mihawk. Young Crocodile. They did kind of.
Not talking about the young.
They
How
looked
the S.
they looked alike. Though.
But I just hit me right now. It made me think of what if, like you said, Gomai following the Seraphims, following the order to save Vegapunk, and the Seraphim got wind of like, all right, they know that one of the satellites is actually traitor.
So they're just trying to take one of them, all
All
of
of them out
just
because
to
we don't
convert.
know. We're just gonna cover all of them out, take them all out.
It's possible. All right. Let's get into the last question before we go into calls. We go back to the command center, and Zoro asks Luffy for help. Shaka sees why and yells out to S-Bear and S-Hawk to stop. Also, who's giving you orders? Zoro says they were also going after CP0 and couldn't let them pass away due to it leaving a bad taste in his mouth the way they are tied up. Both Seraphims attack anyway. Shaka then says that Vegapunk himself is the only one to order the Seraphims, and it would also mean someone's trying to assassinate them all. Kaku and Lucci wake up. They are awakened. They then suggest to Zoro and Lucci
that they should team up and hold off on settling old scores. Luffy and Zoro both make a face of disgust. What did you guys think? And we'll start with Seb.
All right, so this is what I was talking about with the difference in the translation. So I believe it was TCB. Their translation, and TCB's in the chat, by the way. Shout
Shout out to TCB.
Yeah, man.
Great.
But essentially, it said Zoro said they were gunning for CP0, straight up, right? In that translation. In the official translation, it says they were also going after them, right? Like going after them too. So it's like, so they were attacking Zoro as well, right? So when I originally read the chapter, I was like, okay, these Seraphim are acting on different orders than the other Seraphim were. You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking, okay, it's Saturn controlling these couple here, and then there's a couple that the Stella may have gotten to be like, yo, take whatever. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, I don't know what to think anymore, because now it's like they were going after Zoro as well. Because when I first read it, I was like, okay, they're going after CP0. That's different. That's a different thought process than what the other Seraphims are doing. But now I don't know. Now I'm like so confused and stuff, because it's like, yo, I really have no idea. I thought it was dope. It's always dope to see Zoro and Luffy together. It just is. Like, and I wasn't here in last chapter's review. Zoro looked fire, bro. Yeah. His fit is dope. We got the 3 swords on the back. I love it. I think it's cool to see like the Mihawk and Kuma Seraphims together attacking like in unison with like the giant blast with the slash. I thought that was really cool. Like I said, Shock again, some clear points as far as what he's saying here. But yeah, other than the death game, radios are down. Barrett, like he's basically summing up, yo, all this stuff is happening back to back because somebody's trying to kill us. Now, I think it's weird. I guess it's not too weird that he's saying that Vegapunk gave the orders, or like another Vegapunk did. In his mind, it's not even possible that one of the Gorosei came. Which, I mean, I guess, like, they don't ever leave that spot, right? Like, why would I assume they pulled up? But, like, if my orders are being, ignored completely, then I don't know. But let me rephrase. I loved the space at the end with their reaction to Lucci and Kaku saying, like, yo, free us. I thought that was gold, bro. It was just I laughed so hard when I read that. I legit was about to make one of their faces my like PFP on Discord. It was so funny to me. I think they do free them. I do, because ultimately, if they act up, they can handle it. So.
Yeah,
it is what it is. But yeah, I think it's dope. I don't know who it is anymore. Like, I really don't. Like, that, my whole thing was like, yo, it's Stella and Saturn, and they're just different Seraphims are acting on different orders from different people. No idea anymore. I'm clueless. I have nothing. So
yeah, Law.
Honestly, it made me think of, for example, what if we had it all wrong? Where we keep thinking like, because I said it too, and I agree with Lionel in that aspect. Where we thought like, or what if Shaka was the original, like the one that's most like Vegapunk, like the first son, and then he helped create all the other satellites, right? But what if Shaka wasn't the original clone, right? Or the first one, or I guess they were their satellites. But what if Vegapunk had an original clone that's more like his son, but something happened where he didn't release him, like it didn't work out well, right? And then, so that would be the first one, like his real clone, while the other ones are just satellites. Because like all these are clones now, but why for himself he doesn't have any clones? He has satellites. Maybe he tried cloning himself, but it just didn't work out to the way he wanted. So he goes, you know what? Satellites are better. But he didn't destroy the original, the one he made that was most like him. And to say, like, for example, it was held up on whatever reasons, but, like, through this attack, it got exploded and was released. Right? And this one gave the orders. Like, in his mind, he's like, maybe it could be, like, maybe find Vegapunk an enemy now because he trapped me. He didn't see me as, like, useful. Or it's just like, no, I'm going to protect Vegapunk, but all these other satellites have to go. Right? Yeah. So what if the not the satellites, but the real clone of Vegapunk is the one that's giving the orders? I just thought of that right now because he said only a Vegapunk can, right? That's what Shaka said. So it's like they're following Vegapunk's order. So if it's not Saturn here, like the Gar said, like what I thought, if it's like that Frankable, maybe I think it's like, it just made me think of, again, Vegapunk is doing a bunch of clones, but for himself, he never cloned. these are satellites. But what if he did start off with clones first for himself, but didn't work out and then switched to satellites? And now the one who's ordering the seraphims is actually his clone, which they would read as Vegapunk, you know? So I thought of that, and I thought it was cool, again, like Zoro and Luffy. Again, to me, honestly, I would not like it if they let them free.
They gonna let them free, bro.
No, because, for example, to me personally, would y'all be happy? I mean, I'm saying that you agree with it, but, like, no, you guys fight these seraphims one-on-one. Like, Zoro as Hawk, Luffy as Bear. You teaming up with the CP show to fight these two seraphims would be a letdown to me. Like,
so
that's how I see it.
I get you, but I think it's more of a, like, are we gonna fight to protect these two dudes? For real? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
It's like, yo, hold your own weight. Like, I'm not fighting to protect you if I don't have to. You know? I don't know. I don't know.
No, I get what you're saying. I don't maybe have Shaka just take him someplace else where they fight them and take him out. But honestly, I could see them not doing it just for, like, we don't see the point in it right now. You guys are good, you know, because you guys are just gonna turn us on it anyway. Even though I can see where Zoro will say no, but Luffy doing it. You know, even though they both made that face, but Luffy would be like, oh, okay, whatever, you know. But I don't know. But there's so I'll open up to the floor. That's all I have to say right now.
Lionel?
Them making that face just reminded me of Whitebeard and Odin when they got discussing about going back to Wano. I thought that was pretty funny. Again, at this point, I honestly don't know, and that's good theory too with the Vegapunk clone. It's so, like, mysterious at this point, and I actually like that. Like, we wanted to find out. It's like you said, it's like a what's that death game with the cards? What's it called? Murder mystery. Like, it's like a really murder mystery.
Clue? Like,
yeah.
Clue? Yeah.
Granted, it's different because nobody's dead. Vegapunk is not dead, but he's missing, and he might be dead. We don't know, but I don't think he is. Also thought of this. Also reminded me of pretty much back in Empo Down when Luffy didn't want to release Crocodile, and he gave voice a reading from 𝐴𝑉𝐴𝑛𝐼. And I'm thinking Luffy did work with an enemy, like, you know, and I don't know who he hates more, Crocodile or Rob Lucci. Like, I don't know. It's probably on the same thing, but he did really work with Crocodile. But I'm not saying I prefer him to stay locked up too, because even with Shaka, you try to kill Vegapunk. Why? What? Would Shaka be even cool with them? Because they're clearly not. Shaka would be cool. Like, these guys just trying to kill Vegapunk, and now you're gonna let him free, like, monetarily. So I was just like, I don't think Shaka's gonna be cool with it. But in this situation, like, it's like because they're the Seraphims, because they're the strongest humanity, and again, they didn't want to stay there protecting them. Like Zoro said, it's a bad taste enough because they're handcuffed, but now they're conscious now. You guys could just go somewhere, and we could handle it.
But they're still handcuffed.
So, but they could
walk.
Yeah, they could get up and move.
He didn't say have a bad taste in my mouth. They got killed while they were asleep. He said because they were handcuffed specifically.
Yeah, but if they're not in the area, they could just go somewhere and they can fight the Seraphim.
They getting freed, y'all.
Yeah, I mean, I accept it because we've seen it in Empo Down. So I would understand it, but I'm not saying I agree with her or like it that much. But yeah.
That's it?
Yeah, because I honestly I don't know who thinking who the person is controlling it, because I don't think it's Saturn. It could be anybody, so like I have no idea.
All right. For me, I was a bit disappointed that Zoro was asking Luffy for help. A piece of me was like, well, I just saw Zoro fight a Lunarian who's a full adult and has hockey, and I'm pretty sure that Lunarian would be able to beat one of these Lunarians because they're children. Granted, they might have special abilities, but the willpower aspect is still not there or clarified as to can they get stronger during a battle, such as like a person, like a regular person would. So to me, King should be able to beat one of these Seraphim. And how difficult would it be? I don't think it would be crazy difficult. I think it would be like high diff. Highest would be high diff. Based on the abilities that they have from the previous owner. You know, there's still so much that's just not classified. So for Zoro to have beaten a Lunarian, I'm pretty sure Zoro can just beat both of these by himself, in my opinion. I don't know if I'm being a meathead or not, but to me, Zoro has conquers hockey. He's much stronger now than he was during that fight. So just to face these two people, I think he should be able to beat them. now it comes into play. Can he beat both of them and handle both of them while these two people are also being attacked and he doesn't want to get them in the way of the fight?
Yeah.
Like, are they impeding on his strength? You know, that's how I felt regarding that. So I'm not going to say that Zoro asks Luffy for help out of desperation, but I will say it's out of necessity. Like, I can handle both, but unfortunately they would get caught into the crossfire. So that was okay. Lucci and Kaku waking up and asking to be let go. Listen, Luffy and Zoro don't need to let them go.
Yeah, same.
Yeah,
Exactly.
like they can take those Seraphim. I think Luffy can just body those Seraphim medium div, probably even low div. Like, in all honesty, he fought Kaido. Like, Kaido's is much stronger than a Seraphim. He's much stronger than a Lunarian. I don't care what anybody says. And he was doing that in base form. So this is what I'd be thinking, like, sometimes people don't understand, like, how strong Kaido was because he gets so disrespected consistently. But, like, Kaido was the top of the line in durability. Like, he didn't need to be a Lunarian. Like, he was just crazy strong.
Mm-hmm.
Luffy competed with him on base level for, like, half of the end fight. And that, you know, that's even when Kaido is lifting up a mountain and he's just fought, like, 30 people. Like, Kaido is the epitome of strength. So Luffy has gained a new stature and strength as well. He's much stronger than Zoro. And I think he could just handle these Seraphim like nothing if he so chose to. Now, when it goes into, like, who do I think is giving these Seraphim orders? All right, so I know this is kind of me tracing back my footsteps and going against what I've been saying for so long. I've always said that Vegapunk has always been depicted as this very loving and caring individual, and he's a scientist at heart. I think those things still hold true. But what I do think now is, I think that we're seeing a Jekyll and Hyde or Jekyll and Hyde
yeah.
type of situation where he has two sides to himself overall. And it's going to get a little tricky, but this last arc was about not awakening. It was about awakening for Luffy, right? And now this one is all about awakening. And then Vegapunk goes, how did Luffy transform into the White Warrior? What was the process? There's a process that he wants to know about that he's not fully, educated on. Like, he didn't invent yet or something, right? So I'm thinking that if anybody was to be awakened, I think it would probably be Vegapunk to some degree. He has the brain fruit. We don't know what that necessarily means, right? But if we're going to say he created this egghead where he could transfer all his information and he could lose his literal brain out of his body, I would think that's sort of an awakening to some degree because its original power is to store information. It wasn't to separate the storage.
Mm-hmm.
So I came to thinking, like, damn, maybe Vegapunk is awakened. And I was like, well, his mind and body has to match the devil fruit. But then Bonnie hits him into a child where his mind might be caught up, but his body isn't anymore. So this caused him to have what? A transformation that he might not actually be a paramecia. This seems more like a Zoan type of devil fruit. And the reason I say that is because there are devil fruits that are alike or similar to one another. So if there's any other devil fruit out there that's very similar, which devil fruit would that be? That would be the Hito no Mi human fruit that Chopper ate. Why? Because that fruit directly states that it is a fruit of enlightenment. That is very similar to the brain no Mi, which is you're just being more enlightened as it goes on, and you can store more of that enlightenment, right? So I'm saying to myself, maybe Vegapunk is actually a Zoan with a Hito no Mi fruit, and what ended up happening is Bonnie ended up triggering his Jekyll and Hyde moment, where he's still Vegapunk, but he lost the control of the Zoan fruit. So now he's going into this mode where he's taking out the cameras, he's ordering the Seraphims to destroy each other, destroy whatever he wants to destroy inside, and he doesn't really have control. I was thinking it was Saturn, because Saturn has the command hierarchy to control the Seraphims over Vegapunk, and especially with that silhouette taking out the camps now 12, I said, of course, that looks like him. But how would he have gotten there? Unless he has this insane devil fruit ability that would cause him to go there? I don't know, right? But what I will say is, I think that it's Vegapunk. I think that Vegapunk, the stellar body, is causing all this confusion, and he's also causing everyone to basically be assassinated by the Seraphims.
He's the X Factor. He disappeared, and then stuff started going crazy.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, too, like, the dome happened before he got turned into a child.
Yeah.
He was ready to leave with all the satellites, right? So whatever happened with the dome, don't know. I don't know. That's the only hole in my theory. But after that, all the stuff started happening way more. So I know that Bonnie's effect from her devil fruit doesn't last on animate objects very long. She stated it herself. It doesn't last forever. But for that time being, I think he's going nuts. So that's also the reason why we can't find him.
Mm-hmm.
So he's having like a Hakuba moment from
Mhm.
Cavendish. I don't know. I think that's the only thing I could think up in my mind right now as to why, because I feel like if Kizaru's going to come there with Saturn, they're going to come in loud. They're not going to come in small. And plus, that would mean that they would have to go through the barrier first. Now, can Kizaru, like, split the barrier himself with his light ability? Probably. If he's awakened, why not? But Shaka would have seen that somehow. There would have been a detection somehow, right? But also, I think Luffy would have been like, oh, snap, like, my observation's going off. Because why? Most people with malice intent get, detected kind of easy.
Yeah.
But it's not happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would explain why Vegapunk doesn't necessarily have malice, because he doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm like, I think I'm more on that side now than anything, but, I'm wrong. So...
I don't know. I don't think you could just outright rule out what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, it could definitely be some sort of crazy Vegapunk mind trigger that's like, you know what I mean? I don't know, but it could, because when I went with it, when I was hearing what you're saying, like, it could even be simpler than that. It could just be like, yo, this is the best way for me to get out of the situation, period. And, like, I've shown, like, I care about people and stuff in general, but, like, he had no problem having 𝙬𝙀 do what she did. He had no problem doing a lot of stuff that's a little shady. Yo, killing the Straw Hats and everybody else is gonna save my life. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know that Vegapunk would do that, but it's possible if his mind, like, if he's able to scan the situation, and be like, yo, what's the best option for me to survive? You know what I'm saying? Like. Yo, like Grand Line Review's apparent theory. Yo, kill everybody else's distraction. I'm out of here. But I don't know.
No, I kind of agree with both of you saying. It's very interesting too, because like what you're saying, Larry and Sebastian, you're adding to that. Because also too, think of Tomorrow. He's like, oh, I feel bad that Tomorrow happened here, but it's just like, I'm alive.
Dude, he has no problem.
He was calling that other person, like, he's very lit to, like, he feels bad, but like, I'm alive. And also the only thing is like your theory is actually very interesting, Larry. The only thing is, like, I feel like it started, or do you guys tell me what you think? Did it start back remember when the whole, when the thing let down its shield?
Yeah.
Do you think it started then where, like, all right, where things started not going anywhere? It seemed like there's someone else behind the scene from then on.
So the thing is, Vegapunk already had expressed that he felt like he was going to die soon. Mm-hmm. Before that happened.
Yeah.
So it's like all of it could just be a part of his elaborate plan. Like, oh, the Straw Hats are here? Best. Perfect scapegoat. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm cool with Dragon, but we ain't that cool that I'm going to die for your son.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, you my boy, but I mean, I don't know this kid.
Have a stronger kid.
Bro, he'll figure it out. He's a white warrior. Like, he could. Like, I don't know. I just feel like Vegapunk cannot be ruled out. Based off the factors that we have right now, you can't rule Vegapunk out as the person causing all this.
Well, the only thing that keeps me grounded when it comes to Vegapunk is that ultimately he is a scientist that wants to continue to create, and unfortunately he needs money to do so. Mm-hmm. So those two things make up his character completely. If he doesn't have either of those things in his life, he can't really do whatever he wants. So if he ends up assassinating everybody in the bubble, what does that currently do for him? Well, the world government still wants him dead. So he'd probably have to fake his death. Right. That would then turn out to be, I can't get any more money to create things. So that doesn't necessarily fit his character or what he's trying to do. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think this is against his will. Yeah. Where, like, he's doing this because his awakening went crazy.
and it took over.
I'll say this: somebody had 3-Day had an interesting comment on your theory. He called it Dr. Vega and Mr. Punk, so like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh,
I think that would be good. If you do a video on it, you should probably call it that. But
I don't know, man. I don't know what to really think about it, because it could also be like, you know, like Lauren said, it could be the Blackbeard Pirates. You know, I wouldn't like it, but it could also be another Seraphim going haywire. Yeah. It could be so many things, and it could also be Saturn, because a lot of people are like, well, the details that may point to Saturn being there is because S-Bear and S-Hawk's attack looks like Saturn.
It does.
The planet.
That's funny.
Because there's a ring around the giant ball.
Yeah. And I'll say this too. I really did like your theory, Lawrence. There was a previous Vega, a previous
Clone.
Satellite, like, and they've been numbered so far, right? What if that one is like 0? Because we've seen that in the past too, where like the first one
it
is
depends,
0.
because
You know what I mean?
I don't know if Einstein thought of 0 as a number.
I mean, he's an amalgamation of a bunch of scientists.
Listen, bro. I'm
But-
just speaking on math, bro. But this is the thing too. It could be one of the satellites, and I think that there's so many directions that Oda's taking us in, and I'm so sorry for taking so long, guys. But it's like what Atlas said was very important. The fact that she could just change bodies and change and replace anything means that any of these Seraphims
Our suspect.
are able to, like, what's it called when you're near another iPhone?
Shapeshift.
And you can hot drop. They can just airdrop their whole personality into another satellite body that hasn't been shown yet, and then they could just go crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Or just shapeshift into one of the other satellites and make you think that they're good.
I don't think they can shapeshift, but I think that
if they can change their body into whatever she wants, this is what it's Among Us.
Yeah.
One of them can shapeshift. So if we're like trying to figure out clear people, and I can shapeshift them to Shaka right now.
I don't think that would work with the shapeshift though. I would say is something like this, right? Maybe it's hot dropping, right? Because they can upload their consciousness to the brain of Egghead and then download it into another satellite while maintaining their appearance. You know, Lilith was gone for a little bit, right? She might have just did that, went into something else, did everything she had to do, and then transport back into her satellite body. That's what makes me think like this can happen, but now it comes to play, like, can you control 2 satellites if you're just one person at the same time? Can Lilith be her and something else at the same time? There's so much to theorize about.
It could be if they created it. Like I said, I touched about before, if they just created something and they gave it an order, but just gave it information through the cloud, right? All right, this is the information that you need.
Because you can copy data.
Yeah.
You can re-download it into something else. It happens with our iPhones. We log into our Gmail and everything is there already, right? Like our contacts, our pictures and stuff. Maybe it works the same way. Because at the end of the day, I just copied the data. I didn't re-download it. I didn't do anything crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's a lot. And you saw the chapter mid.
Well, the chapter was mid. It was 7 out of 10. So, I don't know. For me, guys, I think I'm going to roll with that theory of mine and say it's Vegapunk.
I'm going to go with the shape-shifting, but we'll see.
What about you? What are you going to go with?
I mean, it's so, like, all of them are really good. I did like that theory, your theory though, Larry. Like honestly, because the fact that Shaka said it's Vegapunk, that might be a clue. But also with the, you know, what she's saying and shape shifting, like those two things are like, I think that both of those are key. I might go with I would probably go with what Lauren said for now.
Lawrence. All right. All right, guys. That is the end of that chapter. We're gonna start taking phone calls for once. Wait, did we get super chats? Oh, don't do the phone calls just yet. Yeah. Let's do the super chats. Sorry.
Yeah. We got a $5 super chat from James Hudson. It says Luffy must be a dog person because he does not like that cat. In regards to Lucci, I assume. We got another, but thank you so much, Pig. We got another $2 from Luffy needs to try some booty meat. S. Blackbeard would be crazy. He's technically a Chichibukai from the era that they're pulling from, I guess. Probably be called like S Black. I don't know if he'd be called Black.
He never even went to the dinner.
Yeah, he was at the dinner.
Was he?
Yeah, he wants to see it.
That's why I love Blackbeard, bro. He pulled up, got free food, and said, "Yeah, I'm betraying y'all." Pretty much terrible.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all we got so far. But I do think they would be called S Black. I don't think it'd be called Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also thought the Seraphins were probably just the original Shichibukai.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I still don't understand how he doesn't have Kaido's DNA. I know we want to get there's a whole nother thing, but because they experimented on it, we saw it.
But could they get through on Kaido?
Listen, bro.
Yeah.
They knew what they would create, bro.
No, but can you pierce Kaido's scales? That's the thing. You can't you try to get Kaido's DNA, but how can you pierce his skin and get
Bro,
it?
You get his
might-
saliva.
Listen, bro.
Spit, his urine.
It might have not even been his devil fruit, bro. At the end of the day, like there could be some assumption that does definitely make him more durable, but that might make him more durable only in a Zoan form. But if he's in like regular form, like bro, most of them couldn't even do anything to him.
Yeah.
And he was a Oni. You know what I'm saying? His body was unnatural.
Yeah, that's how things like even though
Tell you,
Gekkamura...
yo, bro. Sorry to cut you.
No.
Yo, Kaido, we gotta start talking about Kaido being top 5 all time, bro. Like eventually, we gotta start thinking like, yo, is he really top 5?
Yeah, because I even said when they said that Gekkamura was Kaido's rival, I'm thinking he can't hurt this dude. So how is he even his rival? Like he couldn't do anything.
Bro.
Like
As time goes on, people are gonna look back and they'll be like, "Yo, this dude Kaido was insane. He was insane. He might have been the Enel of post time skip." And the reason why I say Enel is because of how overwhelmingly powerful he was. But he lost to like something that only this character was immune to at that end. You know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy. It's crazy. All right, but anyway, let's do the phone calls. Oh, we did?
But it was just Ryunosuke saying, "Yo, guys."
Oh, what's up, Ryunosuke?
What's up,
Thank you.
Ryunosuke? Thank
All
you
right,
so much.
we could do the phone calls, Marv. Good chat. Hey, what's going on? This is Larry from That One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
What's up, guys? It's Ryunosuke.
Hey,
What's up,
thank you for
man?
the 2, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, sorry I didn't get to watch the stream. I'm at work right now, but I just got my break, so I decided to call.
Oh, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Hope work's going well.
Yeah, it's actually going pretty well. My question for you guys was if you guys could have any devil fruit with like any power, what power would you want it to be? Like if you could create a devil fruit.
Oh man, I created a devil fruit earlier today, so I'm happy you said this. The hypothetical no me.
What?
Yup. Anything that I come up
How
with
would
as
that
a
even work?
hypothetical. Listen, anything that I come up with as a hypothetical scenario will play out automatically.
Yo, that's kind of strong, actually.
It's broken as hell, bro. Oh no! In hypothetical situation, I wouldn't fight every time, undefeated. No matter what.
But then you'd be
wanna-
like, hypothetically, if I did, I would win.
Yo, you know what this sounds like? The Gold movie, that Good Luck lady.
That's luck, though. I'm guaranteeing it, though.
No, hypothetically.
Hypothetically, though.
It's
Yeah.
such a stupid power.
Yo, it's broken, though.
It's so dumb.
I don't know how to word it in like a fruit word, but I already created my ability a while ago, and it's called complete capability control. I don't know how to word it in a One Piece way, but I'm sticking with that.
So what would it do?
Huh?
What would it do?
He would have complete control over all of his capabilities, like all limbs, all nerves, everything.
Do you not have
No.
that already?
No. That's not no. Complete capability. Great. So I'm capable. I'm completely capable of anything and everything, and I can have complete control of everything and everything. Complete capability control.
God fruit.
Are you saying you're God?
I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
That's
what
not
are you
what I'm
saying, bro?
That's not what I said.
So
but
what are you saying?
I just explained it.
Basically, you're like a prodigy at anything you try.
Huh?
No, but he's
You're like
talking
a prodigy at anything you try.
Yeah, but he's like, yo, I
If you just,
want to fly.
immediately are able to do it.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Yeah.
I want to fly, and now I'm flying.
I want to be able to do what I want at any given time.
Yeah, bro. I don't know.
I don't know how to word it in a One Piece word, but
Sounds like a god fruit to me, bro.
It sounds like God fruit.
you said the question was if you could have any ability, name it. I named it. All right.
I'm just saying. Lionel?
If the one's supposed to be all fake and stuff, I'm just gonna say the guy from what's that movie? I think Missing Manhattan from
Oh my God.
yeah, just if he had a
Dr. Manhattan's fruit?
yeah, if
Dr.
he, yeah,
Manhattan.
just,
You want to kill people with radiation? Is that what you want to do?
no,
Dude, he was way more broken than that, bro.
No, I know. I was kidding.
Yo, you guys are so fake. Why do both of you like have to have these godly abilities?
You know what's crazy? My ability would still be there. Hypothetically.
I don't know, bro.
You got
Like, how can I top that? How can I top that? I'd probably grow my fingernails at command if I wanted to.
You could be Wolverine, bro.
I could be Wolverine
No, that's
with my
Meg.
nails.
Meg, bro.
I do that. I just grow my fingernails as much as possible if I could, and then rescind them if I so chose.
I'm sure you can do like the One Piece version of like the Speed Force, because wasn't that like your thing?
The Speed Force? No, it would probably be the imagination fruit. Like, I'd be able to imagine things.
Jamal D said the gas know me because these prices is crazy.
Like, the imagination fruit would hypothetically be the hypothetical fruit. And if I imagined that you just couldn't fly, then you probably wouldn't be able to.
You biting off my ability right now, but I'm gonna allow it.
Is it?
Kinda.
No.
It's kind of.
Kinda, right? Right? It's fine.
How about you, Ryunosuke?
Well, I didn't make like a broken fruit like you guys did.
I had to. I was gonna make something so simple.
I was thinking more of the air fruit. It's gonna be a Logia. It'd be, I like the capabilities of air, pressurized air. You can become air. You can just basically travel wherever you want. You can turn invisible because you are air.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel like if you had that ability and someone broke gas next to you, you'd be like upset. You'd be like, yo, you messed up my wind current.
You form together, now you just stink like fuck. It's like, dang it, now I gotta go back in. But that's pretty beast though, on air Logia, and or yeah, you could be anywhere and everything, just be one with the air. Your observation of hockey will be if you could go on different air currents, you'll be able to sense where that would went or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're hockey with the air, you'll be able to sense back.
Bro, he'd do more than Luffy's doing with his observation.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ryunosuke.
you're welcome. See you guys.
All right, see
later,
ya.
bro.
Enjoy your work.
Thank you, you too.
All right, thank you.
They said mine would be the no law fruit. Not limited to anything.
Dr. Manhattan? I'm getting a poll. I want to see what people think.
Wait, what are you doing? Oh, you're doing a poll. Which one? Wait, about what?
Our fruits.
You're gonna be
Larry,
mad
what was
blue,
yours?
man.
Imagination?
Yeah, imagination.
But I could change my. He
Imagine
could be normal,
fruit.
right?
No.
He doesn't have to be blue.
He was stuck, bro.
Dang.
Good chat. Hey, what's going on? This is Larry from That One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
This is Terrence.
Hey, what's
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
Terrence?
how are you?
How's it going, bro?
Doing good, man. How's it going for y'all?
It's going well, man. Thank you for asking. What's up, man? What's your question?
All right, one small thing before I get to my question. So I hate to break it to y'all, but they letting them loose. They letting Lucy.
Thank
Lucy
you.
and
It's not even it's a thought process, bro. They get let loose. This is Oda.
Yeah, they were bugging, bro.
All right, but here's the thing about the Seraphim. Like I've said in a couple of super chats, not just in y'all streams, but other people's too. Like we could be building up to like a One Piece version of Cell or whatever, and it's just really just with these Seraphim, like there's almost endless possibilities. Because we know they have Lunarian DNA. They most likely have giant DNA because they're kids and yet they're so big. And then you look at S Hawk, not S Hawk, S Shark. He has Fishman DNA as well, so that's like right there. And then look at all these different races in One Piece. You know, you got the Lunarians who can fly and have fire abilities, and that like they have that invulnerability. You got the Fishmen who are really strong and also have like the water abilities because you know Fishman karate and Fishman jujitsu. And then you have minks too who have like electric abilities. Like imagine if they created a Seraphim that had Lunarian, Fishman, and mink DNA plus giant DNA too. You know what I mean? Like there's just so many things they can mix together. Plus like these artificial devil fruit abilities. And who knows? Like out of all the people they've captured, all the people they've imprisoned, I'm sure they probably have some mink DNA. And the thing is, they have Kaido's DNA too. That's why they were able to replicate his devil fruit. They have Kaido's DNA, so they probably could even have own. Like they could go. There's like we don't know where they could go with this Seraphim or their potential. Basically, is what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot they can do with this. So, what do y'all think about this?
Whether they have mink DNA or like whether they could have all the DNA of every single potentially broken race in the series. I mean, why not?
I'm talking about all of them, but
listen.
So like, yeah. Where do you think they could?
The only reason why they wouldn't is because of a situation that's happening right now. That Vegapunk would have to fight them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if he was doing this and they had complete autonomy over what they did, then yeah. But like we've seen, I don't think they have Kaido's DNA. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they would be too broken. There would be nothing that anybody could do. You know what I mean? Like, it would be too much for you to have a Lunarian on top of that dragon, on top of that the giant on top. Like, it would be too much. Like, if, say they're fully grown,
I don't think they have
or even say Bonnie ages them up potentially. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it would be too much to deal with at one time for one thing. And you're saying all of them, maybe? No. But I'd love to see it though. I'd love to see it.
That's what he should have did. That's what I kind of thought he would have done, because he tried the ultimate creation of humanity or something like that. Mm-hmm. And if you're not going to use all your resources to the best of their ability, like, for example, you may not take everything, but take the good parts out of it. Like, kind of like you taking, like, creating a martial arts. You could take all the strong points of that martial arts with none of its weaknesses to create your own special, perfect martial arts. So the same thing with this aspect. If you have all these resources that you could use to further your own creation, why not use them? Why would you limit them? Because especially if you're trying to call them or you're trying to advance humanity in this way, that was Vegapunk's goal. And all the satellites kind of had that same thought where, like, these are the best things that we created, the top. But you left out some of your best resources from it. It doesn't make sense to me. Because also, too, Kaido's in a way, DNA is stronger than, what I believe, stronger than King's DNA. And if you had access to it, why wouldn't you use it with your Seraphim? So if he didn't use it, maybe there was a reason where there was a cause where it didn't mix well, but like he had more potential with Lunarian DNA. That could also be a factor. There's more potential in the Lunarians than Kaido's because the access of fire on the back or something. I'm not sure, but to me, it's like I think the Seraphim is supposed to be the combination of all of his resources and the good parts of it, not really the negatives. Like, you took out what was bad, what was not useful, and then shaped it into, like, all right, to his mind, the best or the ultimate beings. That's how I understand.
You know, to be fair, too, though, just because Kaido is stronger than King doesn't necessarily mean that Onis are stronger than Lunarians in general. You know what I mean? It just happens to be this individual Oni is much stronger than this individual Lunarian. You know what I mean? Just Kaido himself as an individual is the strongest. Doesn't mean his race itself is the strongest. You know what I mean?
I get it, because I was thinking of what if King ate the dragon fruit instead of Kaido?
Kaido being him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kaido's so strong more than just the dragon fruit. There's also his hockey.
Yeah,
I know. Yeah, because he's a King Disposition user.
Yeah, and also that's another thing though. Do you think these Seraphim know hockey at all? I mean. They have somewhat of a will of their own, but they're supposed to be the strongest thing.
No, not yet.
Yeah, you don't think they do?
I think they do. I mean, but
that's
I could totally see it where they wouldn't, but like.
But they're considered as humans, though. That's the thing. But
that's the question that we keep running into.
Yeah,
it's if because it all depends on because humans have will. They can't anyway create a human, but they're artificial humans. So the main question is he able to transfer will?
Did 𝙬𝙀 use hockey yet? I don't think she's used it yet, right?
Nope.
So.
Not to my knowledge.
Mm-hmm. I don't know.
Well, what do you think, later?
I don't know. I don't think that they have hockey just yet. I don't know the willpower aspect of it yet, so I can't say. Yeah, but I don't know, man. To be honest, I think that Onis are definitely stronger than Lunarians. I mean,
so?
Yeah. I mean, look at Yamato. I'm gonna assume that she's half breed, at least. She's not as big or as bulky as he is. Mm-hmm. And look how much of a monster she is, just being half breed.
But she's also Kaido's daughter, though.
And she also has King Disposition as well.
Yeah, and also
Like,
she has that trainer. She's been fighting Kaido her whole life, so there's also that.
Ate a mythical.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more to it than the fact she's an Oni that's making her strong. Not to knock her, I'm just saying like there's probably weak Onis out there. Like it's possible that like Mori is an Oni because he has the horns or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's not overtly strong, but I
don't know.
Because Magellan has horns, and
could be an Oni.
Is this
He could. We don't know.
Does this factor into anything? Say like because we know the Lunarians existed. I'm just saying it is this factor. Lunarians existed and so did Onis, but who were considered the gods? Technically.
That's a timing thing. That's a location thing potentially. Like, if that could be a numbers thing. Like right now, the Celestials are considered gods, and they're weak as hell for the most part. You know, like there's a lot of lore factors that go into that. But
yeah.
It also could be like the Lunarians' appearance. It could be like almost heavenly, like the wings, the white hair,
and they're creating fire. Like in lore, it's like these people are conjuring fire that probably wasn't a thing like that back in those days. Like there's more to it than like these Lunarian people or whatever. But I don't know. It's hard to say
because they're both extinct now, so it's kind of tough. Yeah. If Oda gives us more information.
I'd rather be a Larry
though that
you don't want to be handsome, right?
I do.
It's a shot, bro.
Sorry.
Hold on. That's how you feel, bro?
That was a joke.
Y'all took the glasses off. I'm trimming down a little bit. I thought I was making progress over here.
Yeah, Lionel, that was
uncalled for, bro.
That was disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was a joke. My bad. I didn't mean it.
That's wild, dude.
I mean,
what you mean? Am I not cute? Damn. That's crazy. That's crazy. I feel like I did this poll already. I'm good, I don't need those results right now. I'm sorry. It's not about me.
Hey, overall, I agree with Larry that right now, I don't know how strong they are right now, but they definitely have a lot of potential, obviously, because of the fact that they have Lunarian and Giant DNA, the devil fruits and all that stuff. Like, if they do age up, when we see their full potential, they're going to be, like, incredible. They're going to be beast. That's why I think that right now, that whatever happens in this arc, we're not going to be defeating the Seraphim, because I feel like we need to see them live up to that potential. Like, I feel like they might play a part in the final battle. We might be going up against their adult selves.
Yeah.
But right now I'd say they're not stronger than Kaido or even King right now. So who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to say. But appreciate the call, man. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you, Terrence. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
You're welcome, man.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.
You too.
Yeah, I know we got some super chats. Just give us a second. We're gonna do the phone calls and then we'll do the super chats real quick. Yeah. Just want to get everybody in. I know they be going off on us. We tried to call. Good chat. Hey, what's going on? This is Larry from That One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
What's good, guys? It's Bellis.
Hey, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing all right. Good seeing you guys tonight.
Oh, good hearing from you, bro. Thank you. What's your question?
Hey, so we know we're going to 𝐿𝐵𝐴𝐵. Well, I hope we do. Who do you think out of the Straw Hats will come out from 𝐿𝐵𝐴𝐵 with a power-up, and what would it be their power-up?
I'll just say myself, Usopp, and he'll actually have a good hammer instead of the fake 10-ton hammer that he uses. I think that would match him. But what do you guys think?
I mean, as far as the Straw Hats go, I feel like Usopp's the clear choice. If I had to choose somebody else, I'd actually go Zoro. Just because Big Mom was using that like 𝐿𝐵𝐴𝐵 cannon attack, and Zoro's like picked up attacks, like he picked up the Kinemon cutting fire thing. If he could just start whipping those out, that would be dope.
Yeah.
I mean, beyond that, Luffy's like another obvious choice. He powers up like every arc, you know. I'm really waiting to see a kid power up on 𝙑𝐽𝐵. Is really my goal. He's actively there, going there, whatever.
We said Straw Hats. We didn't say
I'm
bombs.
just saying, bro. I'm just saying.
We about to see Kid versus Luffy on 𝙑𝐽𝐵, man.
That's not a good look for Kid.
But a power up though, I'm trying to think. Because I feel like their 𝙑𝐽𝐵 is based off Vikings, right?
Yeah.
So it's not gonna be really high tech stuff. I don't think it's gonna be more of like, maybe Frankie, because it's like they have like a legendary sword, but it's gonna be huge. Whereas Frankie could use with his like that battle form he used when he was fighting Baby Five and Buffalo. A sword that Frankie's able to go into that form and pull out of, like one of those sacred swords like that. Frankie's able to pull those out, and he's able to utilize a special sword in that way. Maybe.
I mean, is Frankie gonna be big enough with his thing?
And that giant tank, whatever form.
The General Frankie.
Yeah, General Frankie. There you go.
No, that's like, I mean, maybe I'm over exaggerating how big giant swords are. Because they're like, because I'm thinking of like, I picture like, for instance, we saw comparison of the Vegapunk's ship when they saved the Straw Hats. How big that was. I feel like that could be, what's so funny?
I was going to say, if you were a giant, how big would your sword be?
I can't.
I can't.
Give your take, bro. Who do you think would get a power up, bro?
I did like that with the Zolo thing, because that attack, like, you know, so that shows like Zolo slashes. I don't think they're ever as big as Mihawk's yet. That'd be dope. He learned something that now can compete with his slashes to Mihawk's. I think that'd be dope. And obviously Usopp, because Usopp needs to become a brave warrior, bro.
If Zoro tried to cut a Yonko, he'd probably cut through Jozu with a sword slash. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, what about you? What do you think?
I'm actually gonna agree with you, Larry. I do think Usopp gonna come out with a hammer, and it'll be like Thor's hammer, and for him it's gonna be like a feather, but for everyone else, it's gonna be heavy.
That's a good one.
And I think it would be nice because he's already good at long range, but when it comes out to close range, what he's gonna do about it? So I think with that hammer, he could just swing it like he did in Thriller Bark. You know, of course it was not to him, but of course it was fake. But this hammer is actually gonna do some damage. So I do think Usopp is gonna come out with a power. Well, he needs out of anyone else, he needs a power up because he didn't do nothing on Wano.
That would be kind of crazy, honestly.
So I just want to know what it would be like. What would be the reasoning why he would be the only one who's capable of lifting it in that way? Like, is there some like legend? You know what I mean? Like how does Usopp fit the Mjolnir kind of situation? Like, you know. But I'm with it.
Maybe because it goes back all the way back to those two giants that were fighting, and you know, Usopp will be there to explain that, hey, I met them, and then they'll see he's actually like a real warrior, and maybe he'll be, I guess the hammer would choose him,
bro.
You know, just thinking off the top of my head, and then he got a hammer now.
I'll just picture Usopp swinging on somebody with the
All
hammer.
I'm hearing is that Sanji gonna be 5th on the crew.
Oh god.
That's all I'm hearing, bro. That's all I'm hearing,
Crazy
bro.
cap.
No, but Kid is definitely gonna get a power up there too, for sure.
He needs it.
He has to. If not, he's gonna suck
die.
even more.
He's gonna die, bro, without a power up. Stuff he be getting.
I don't think he would die. I think his career would just stop.
I saw this, I don't know if it was on Reddit or on Twitter, but I saw this, that they're going to consider Kid as a big warrior because he's the one that took down Big Mom. And then maybe they'll give him some, you know, like
Listen,
some
bro.
gold or stuff.
That theory cool, but they better show that same energy towards Law, bro. Alright? Because I never want to hear that it was just Kid. Nah,
not
bro.
going to 𝙑𝐽𝐵.
Law should get that same treatment, bro. Bring all the snoo around, bro.
I'm just saying, Blackbeard gonna show up and he's gonna say room. Definitely, bro.
Chill.
That's all you need to know.
Sure.
Oh man, appreciate the call, man. Seriously.
Yeah, thank you, brother.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank you.
Thank you.
Good seeing you guys. Good night.
Have a good night.
Yo, Black
Marv,
Dude's
just
room.
we're not gonna do the calls.
Black Dude's room would be crazy. But all right, appreciate y'all for all the calls.
Yes.
We'd love to hear from y'all. We did get a couple super chats I'm gonna read real quick before we end the show. We got a $2 super chat from Jacob Tiffany. It says, "Yo, it's JT, the DDT King. Keep killing it, y'all."
Thank you.
Kings don't crown themselves, JT. That's all I want to tell you.
LeBron did it.
Not the king. Anyway, we got another 3-month membership to Yonko status from our guy Ryunosuke. Thank you so much.
Ryunosuke, thank you.
It says, "If I made a fruit as broken as your guys, it would be the law fruit. I can defy and use laws to my advantage, like the law of gravity, law of time, law of energy. I can defy and control those." That's pretty interesting.
Wow.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
He's gonna be like, I got weed on me. You're breaking the law. He's like, no, I'm not.
Oh man, we got
Drinking and driving? Are you crazy? No, I'm correct.
I'm the law. Go ahead.
Come on, son.
It sounds like privilege to me.
Yeah, 'cause he lost.
Yeah.
Terrible. Anyway,
He'd be able to control you.
No control.
hey man, it's Black History Month.
Oh,
Nobody
yeah,
can
yeah.
control you.
Nobody can control you, King.
Yeah.
We was kings.
I'm running
Oh,
down.
man. We did get another $2 super chat from our guy Pick Hudson. It says #Seb so cute we speechless. I don't think that's what it was, but I appreciate it.
Let me look at you, man. Let me look at you.
Look at me, man.
Look at me, man.
Look at me.
You think I'm cute? You think I'm cute?
You know what I do? I always think like, yo, if you were a chick, how would you look?
Come on, bro.
Don't
got
do
no
it.
cake.
Nah, that's too far.
Yeah, you ain't really got it, bro. I'm gonna pass. But I can see why Lina would say that. Yo, he really said so you could be handsome. That was a shot, bro. Yeah, I'm fighting over Thanksgiving for facts. All right, anyway, that is the end of the episode, guys. Episode 88 in the books. There is no One Piece break this week coming up, so expect the DDT on Wednesday at 6:30.
Yes, sir.
We're continuing the mid-tier tournament, and then we have on Thursday when TCB releases the scans for the newest One Piece chapter 1076. Me and Chestnut will be doing it at 4 p.m. Eastern time, so stick around for that. But thank you so much for all the super chats, your attention, and the likes that you left on the video, and your comments most of all. So thank you. My name is Larry,
Lawrence.
Lionel.
Seb.
and it's That One Piece. Jana.
Jana.